Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
Rock Valley College opens its doors to give people a look at its unique center. How this resource is giving students first-hand experience. Bikers embark on a ride across the state line in honor of a fallen officer. The plan for their day and how the proceeds will benefit others. And thousands of participants flock to the Rockford region for a very muddy race. The impact this event has goes beyond the athletes. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Advanced Technology Center at Rock Valley College has been open for over a year now. Today, the community had the opportunity to take a look at what goes on inside. Our Nikel Delgado is there to check it out. Nikel?
That's right, Taylor. Folks got to see the 77,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility for themselves with a diverse range of programs available to them.
After I got the information and knew about the exhibition, I was like, I got to get over there.
Rockford local Darian Bradley tells me he starts the CDL program at Rock Valley College's Advanced Technology Center this September. And today's ATC at work gave him the opportunity to see where he will be learning.
There was a lot of movement. There was a lot of trueness to it. So I feel like, yeah, everything, I was within the lines. I was doing what I need to do. So the basics are there. It's just some tidying up, make it nice and neat, make sure everybody can relate to what I'm doing when I'm on the road. Have someone come up here, have someone test something out. Those simulators blew my mind. When I was working on the crane, I was like, what? I can do this.
Folks got to witness the day-to-day cutting-edge programs in action. And there is something for everyone, from welding, hydraulics excavator simulation, CNC machining, mechatronics, and truck driver training. Manny Pisano is a junior at Belvedere High School. He tells me he was amazed that the simulators felt so real.
It felt really cool. My dad's a truck driver, so I was like, I want to see how it felt like. So it felt cool but scary.
Executive Director of Industrial Development Grant Schubert says their goal is to build up the workforce in the Rockford region, and today showcases their hands-on training that prepares students for successful careers.
We want people to know that Rock Valley is at the forefront of training, classes, technology, all this stuff. You know, Rock Valley College is a place for people of all ages and backgrounds. If you want to pivot in your career, we got a space for you. If you want to start a new career, we got a space for you. Just to show that Rock Valley College is here to serve the community.
Darian tells me after he is done with his CDL, he will go into mechatronics.
This is so much better than what I thought it was going to be.
Administrators said this is only the beginning. They are working hard to continue to expand and meet the needs of the Rockford region. For more information on RVC's programs, find this story at mystateline.com. Taylor?
Thanks, Nikel. Rockford agencies line Main Street to make sure every young person has what they need for a successful school year. The Youth Build Back to School Bash is back for a second year. There were free backpacks, school supplies, and food. On-site physicals, dental exams, and haircuts were also available to make sure the kids look and feel their best in the classroom. The theme was It Takes a Village, which recognizes the community effort to make sure no child is left behind.
We all win as a community because those young people are going to grow up and redo the same things that we're doing right now. So we're leading by example for our young people, and we're putting them on that pathway to be the leaders themselves once they grow into those positions.
There were also community resources, a DJ, and other fun activities. Bikers rode around the state line to honor a fallen Rockford police officer. The 5th annual Jamie Cox Motorcycle Rally started at VFW Post 2955 in Roscoe. The ride is law enforcement escorted with supporters lined up along the way. Harry Cow Brewing Company in Byron was the first stop. Then the group headed to the Idle Hour in Mount Morris before ending at Crazy Time Pub and Grub in McChesney Park. There is dinner and live music. All proceeds benefit the Jamie Cox Foundation.
Supporting this family, I think is, it's a tragic loss when someone's protecting and serving us, and I think it's the least that we could do for their family and, for the community.
The Jamie Cox Foundation was founded in 2019. It supports veterans, first responders, and underprivileged youth. Thousands of participants are in Rockford this weekend for the largest Tough Mudder event in the country. The Chicago Rockford International Airport hosted the Muddy Obstacle Course event. People competed in the 5K, 10K, 15K, and Infinity courses, testing their endurance by climbing and crawling through the mud. It's expected to generate a lot of revenue for the area since 93% of participants are from outside the region. For two cousins, the race is a family affair and they love to come back for the challenge.
Just the challenge of it, just seeing if I can actually do it. You know, I know there's some of the obstacles that fail at, but you know what? I know which ones I need to work on. Next year we come out, try them again, see if we can pass them again the following year.
This is the 8th year that Rockford has hosted this event. We're learning new details about a shooting that wounded 2 women inside Guaranteed Rate Field last night. This comes as fans are already returning to the ballpark for tonight's White Sox game.
Temperatures kind of had a lid on them for the afternoon today after we had a lot of cloud cover sitting with us through most of the afternoon, keeping temperatures in the 70s for many of us, a significant change from yesterday and even more so than the day before that. I'll let you know how long the cooler trend sticks around coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Taylor Castro, Reagan Holgate, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
2 women are hurt after a shooting during the Chicago White Sox game at Guaranteed Rate Field. The team released a statement that said the shooting did not involve altercations of any kind. Jewel Hillary has more on the investigation.
The victims, a 42-year-old woman and a 26-year-old woman, were in the lower stands around section 161, close to left field, around 7:30 Friday night when they were injured. This video from the White Sox shows a woman appear to grab her leg. She looks down, and then the people in front of her turn around, and the woman stands up. Then someone waves for help. From the looks of it, it appears there was no commotion in the stands, indicating something was wrong. Dr. Jeannie Farnan was at the game last night when she saw someone running towards the concourse asking for security, saying someone was bleeding. Dr. Farnan offered to help, and when she made it to the woman who was shot, she assisted with wrapping her wounds.
I asked the EMT if he found anything on his survey, and he lifted the patient's shorts, and there was an obvious entry wound into her thigh. It was a very obvious, gunshot wound in her thigh. And at that point, held pressure there. Another woman came up and held her hand out to me, and then I looked, and she dropped the bullet into my hand that I put in my back pocket while we continued to wrap the woman's leg. By that time, the White Sox security detail had shown up, and so I gave them the bullet, kind of explained what the lay of the land was.
According to the White Sox manager, the team didn't hear about the shooting until after the game.
It's obviously a little bit shocking. It's not something you hear right after a game, but at the same time, we never really felt threatened, so everybody was, calm.
CPD shared a statement saying they did not believe there was an active threat at the ballpark on Friday night. The origin of where the bullet came from remains under investigation.
And it's not clear where the bullet came from. There are no reports of any gunshots in our ballpark.
That was Jewel Hillary reporting. Search and recovery efforts in Maui are winding down. Officials say they've covered 99% of the burn areas in Lahaina. They will now do some rechecks before completing the mission. Overnight, more than 100 people were reported safe after their names were released on the list of those unaccounted for. That still leaves nearly 300 people whose whereabouts are unknown. The death toll from the wildfire stands at 115, but officials believe that will likely rise as the process of identifying remains continues. Longtime The Price is Right host Bob Barker has died. Barker hosted the game show for 35 years before retiring in 2007. He was also a lifelong animal rights activist. Barker's publicist says he died at home in Hollywood Hills this morning. He was 99 years old. Temperatures were much cooler this afternoon than the past few days, as highs were stuck in the mid-70s for most. Jordan tells us how long the more comfortable weather sticks around and if we'll see any rain soon. He's coming up next.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
It was quite the warm stretch last week. We remember we saw temperatures that were well into the 90s for quite a few days in a row, and some of those heat index values were peaking around 120 degrees in some spots. Those temperatures were well above normal for this time of year. As a matter of fact, 16 degrees above normal. However, we have been trending on the downward side as we saw temperatures yesterday only 3 degrees above normal, and temperatures today so far 7 7 degrees below normal. Normal temperatures around this time of year continuing to fall right around 80 degrees for the moment. Right around 81 degrees is in fact our average high temperature for this time of year in Rockford. Temperatures today still much cooler than where they were yesterday by a margin of around 15 degrees or so, and those temperatures sitting in the 70s at the moment, the low 70s for many of us. 70 degrees right now in Rockford, 70 in DeKalb, and in Rochelle, 72 in Sterling and in Savannah. Dew points, though, still sitting in the 50s and the 60s, which is a lot more comfortable than where we were just a few days ago. Those dew points continuing to fall, helping to bring some of that more comfortable air into the area. Jim on the southwest side of Rockford reporting a temperature of 72 degrees, a dew point of 58. His temperature is actually cooler than the dew point that he had from his last report from just a couple days ago when the temperatures were into the 90s. Satellite and radar still holding on to quite a bit of cloud cover across the area, and that's helped to keep a little bit of a lid on some of our temperatures here for the afternoon. However, things are starting to clear out just a little bit as we get later on here into the evening tonight. We still hold on to some of that cloud cover, especially when we look on our SkyTrack cameras across the region. Some of this lower level stratiform clouds still holding on, and that's why we're seeing temperatures not warming quite as much as they could have if we'd had a little bit more of the sunnier skies. We do clear out some of those clouds in the rest of the night tonight. Temperatures falling pretty close to where the dew points currently sit. 57 degrees for the overnight low, partly cloudy skies, and fairly close to our normal low temperatures for this time of year, right around 60 degrees, even a little bit cooler than that for our overnight lows. We do return back into the 70s tomorrow, maybe a little bit warmer than where we were today. 76 degrees for the afternoon high. However, we will see a lot more sunshine than what we had today, and that sunshine, though, will warm us up a little bit more than where we were today, but still holding on to some slightly breezier winds out of the north, helping to bring that more refreshing air into the area. Futurecast does keep us fairly clear for the overnight, does bring a few isolated showers into the area, but I don't think we're going to see much in the way of that until we get later on into Monday night going into the part of Tuesday. That's when we will see our next chance for rain. That's along a cold front that will slide in, a very isolated to scattered chance for those showers. And that will, at least in the meantime, bring up our humidity in the very, very short term ahead of that front before it returns back to those comfortable levels toward the middle part of the week. The longer term outlook from the Climate Prediction Center is once again favoring those above normal temperatures going into the first few days in the month of September. However, normal high temperatures for that time of year continuing to fall right around the 80-degree mark by the time that we get there. So slightly above normal by the time we get into next weekend. In the meantime, though, still holding on to fairly comfortable temperatures. Slight chance for that rain on Tuesday with that next cold front, and then Taylor, temperatures starting to warm their way back up as we get into next weekend.
Thanks, Jordan. Reagan's next with sports. Both the Bears and Packers close out preseason action today. Plus, a few of our high school football teams opened up their season on a Saturday. Those highlights are next.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
The NFL preseason is in the books for both the Bears and Packers. We'll start in Chicago with the visiting Bills. We got to see JF1 in action today with most of the starters taking the field. Let's go to the first quarter, and the Bills were up a score. Tyreek Stevenson is going to get the interception here off Kyle Allen. That's a big improvement from last week in Indy. All right, the next drive for the Bears, and it's Justin Fields. He has time to deliver, and who else would he find but his number one guy, DJ Moore. That ended in a 40-yard gain. That was Moore's only catch today. Let's go to the opening play of the second quarter. Fields has Donta Foreman on a screen. He gets inside the 10, but Fields actually took a big hit on that one. That's Ed Oliver with the shot on Fields, and that would end his day. Tyson Bagent comes in, and the Bears will settle for a field goal. Still in the second here, Bagent on the QB sneak, and the rookie runs it in for a touchdown from the 8-yard line. Then in the fourth, after the Bears block a punt, PJ Walker got some reps, and Robert Burns gets 6 more for the Bears. But it wouldn't be enough, though. Bills take down the Bears 24-21 to close out the preseason. Here's Fields after 2 of 6 passing and 3 carries for 16 yards.
Us as a whole team, we're ready. I think the biggest thing is just, of course, mentally preparing for Green Bay and, seeing what they're doing. I'm just glad today that, I got a couple of deep shots on the field, although we didn't connect. But it was kind of good, felt good just throwing the ball, downfield to DJ and Moon. And, we just talked about it. So feel good. But I think the only thing now is just, game planning and just, watching film on those guys.
And Jordan Love looking good in his third preseason start today against the Seahawks. Picking things up in the second quarter, Packers up 3. Love to Malik Heath over the middle for a 15-yard gain and a first down. Next play, it's Love. He finds Luke Musgrave. He's going to take it 11 yards, and that will get Green Bay inside the 10-yard line. Then it's Love who hits Christian Watson in the end zone for a touchdown. The Packers QB1 finished the day 9 for 15 for 63 yards and a touchdown. And the Packers ending the preseason with another win, 19-15. All right, the Cubs have called up one of their top pitching prospects in left-hander Jordan Wicks. The former Rivets player will make his MLB debut tonight as the starter against the Pirates. Wicks was with the Rivets for 4 games in 2020. He pitched more than 34 innings with 52 strikeouts. He then became the Cubs' first-round pick in 2021. His start tonight makes him the first Rivets player to ever play in a major league game. Last night, 8 NIC-10 football teams kicked off their seasons. We got to see the final 2 today. That's Belvedere North, who took on Freeport. First quarter, Freeport QB Peyton Woker looks for his main target, Diedrich Macon. It's a touchdown and a 6-0 lead. Right before halftime, Max Gillenswan answers with a nice touchdown pass to Nico Bertolino. It was 8-6 Blue Thunder. Belvedere North took complete control of this one in the second half. Right from the third quarter kickoff, Joseph Brown gets his hands on the ball, and he shows us why he's one of the most dangerous return men in the conference. He takes it back 90 yards for the touchdown. That had to feel pretty good for Brown after he missed more than half of last season injured. Belvedere North defeats Freeport 48-18. Let's go to Dakota now, where the Indians kicked off their season against the Fisher Bunnies. Third quarter, the Bunnies were threatening, but the pass is picked off by Dakota senior Nolan Mayberry. And just moments later, Dakota fullback Jason Bowers pounds into the end zone. That's one of 2 touchdowns for him. Dakota was looking for more points on this next play. Benny Gordon, a big sophomore, makes it in for a touchdown. New Dakota coach Eric Dittich and his guys get a big win over the Bunnies, 48-12. Well, the boys' football season is underway. The girls are getting ready for their season. The Northern Illinois Girls Flag Football League will kick off in mid-September. This morning, the players gathered at Clarence Hicks Memorial Sports Park in Rockford for a jamboree. There was a skills camp, individual competitions, and team scrimmages. There are teams from 8 local high schools, and these girls are loving the chance to compete in football.
I'm really excited. I haven't done it before, and I actually really like it. My friends, they actually told me about it. And at first, I was like, but then I got into it. I really liked it. It made me feel like I was accepted,
The league is run by the Rockford Park District. It's sponsored by the Chicago Bears and Nike. That's sports. We'll be right back.
The first one, interactive radar from Rockford Auto Glass, keeping us dry for the moment, but plenty of cloud cover sitting out there, and that's going to keep our temperatures a little bit on the lower side for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. However, that will eventually work its way out of the area, leaving us under partly cloudy skies once we get into the night tonight. Temperatures falling below the 60-degree mark, down into the upper 50s for many of us. Only back into the mid and upper 60s and 70s for the day tomorrow, 80s for the next couple of days before a cold front brings us a chance for rain Tuesday.
Thanks, Jordan. Thank you for joining us.